I like to have water constantly on the stove, primarily as a humidifier, but also too, whenever I go to do dishes, it's nice having hot water. I have the similar setup for my water like I did in my first bell tent, and then when I had in the shanty, where you got the galvanized wash tub, some containers in there. I built a little stand just out of some scrap boards. That way it's high enough to get some gravity-fed water. Have a 5-gallon bucket underneath, extra water containers, miscellaneous toiletries. I have a separate dish pan, kind of soaking in the dirty dishes. I have tinnitus, so I have to sleep with a fan on, but it also comes in really handy, especially when I was in the shanty last summer. And man, some of those nights in June got super hot, really humid. Fan staying off grid like this definitely helps. There's tons of room in here, so you might as well get a bed, work hot. I like a bed. This is an old World War II era US Navy bunk. You can find all sorts of stuff at flea markets and yard sales. I like to go for both practicality and the aesthetics. Obviously, it's more practical for me coming in and out and all that, trying to get work done, to just get some rechargeable battery-powered lights. But then there's also the kerosene lanterns. Just nice having those when you're winding down for the night. And then plastic totes just for your miscellaneous. If you don't like how they look, you can tuck those out of the way. Depending on the time of day, what I have going on, I'll rearrange some of the furniture, particularly the rocking chair and this red chair. If I get company, I'll kind of move things around. The first tent I had was a canvas wall tent, and it had the hole going through the ceiling. And I definitely prefer that compared to going through the wall. However, with me being gone throughout the week and with it raining, it just would collect a bunch of water going through the side. You don't have that problem. But I have the barrel stove, and these tents are set up for a lot smaller stoves. And so I had to pull a couple pins on the side and raise it up and get the different fireproofing material around the opening. And just like the first bell tent I had, securing it with T-posts does a good job with the wind. You won't have a spark arrestor up there. Having the stovepipe off to the side, so this is at least a bit safer. You don't have as good of a draft. You just have to make sure that you clean this site regularly. You can see here where I pulled some of the bottom pins in order to be able to raise up the side to give it the height for the wood stove pipe going through. I did this thing for the last tent that I had, and it withstood 50-mile-an-hour gusts a couple times. Never had any problems. The only thing is, it is a little cockeyed. And this tent has been through some pretty significant wind, and all you got to do is just keep tightening the tightener rope. And this just goes back to the preference of whether you want the pipe going through the wall or through the side. You can get a much smaller stove than the barrel stove. I like the barrel stove because the fire lasts through the night. I like to keep a rug at the entranceway. It definitely helps with the dirt. I do not take my shoes off each time because I'm constantly in and out doing different work. And if I had to take my shoes off each time, that would be a complete pain. So I just have a broom here just to sweep up. The first bell tent I had, I never sprayed any sort of protectant on the top. It lasted me about a year. I put this one up a couple weeks ago, so the clock's ticking because I'm not going to take all this stuff out. That's the thing with having a bed and a stove and a table, is you're probably going to keep it up year round. This particular brand and style only lasts a year. I don't know how long other brands have lasted. I could throw a tarp over top of it, but just with the windstorms that we get, I just don't feel like bothering with that. It's a good year. Hopefully by that time I get my house built, and then I'll just get another tent and just make sure I take it down each time we're done camping. And it's still cheaper than buying an RV.